I've just gotten off the phone with an attorney's office, a black attorney's office, here in the great city of DeSoto, where I own my own home and pay my taxes like everybody else in DeSoto. And this particular law firm, a black law firm, has denied me conversation with that law firm for many, many years. I won't receive a phone call from them, a letter, a postcard, nothing. When my name comes up, automatically I'm on the blacklist. Do not associate, call, or anything with this particular citizen. So last week, I went back up there again after having already been up there numerous times throughout the years. So I said, well, maybe it's a change of heart. I went up there and the secretary, I want to describe her to you. And I'm talking about describe her mind so that you can see her. I say, hello. I say, here I am again. I'm Randolph Shaheed trying to get an appointment to talk to one of the attorneys. And every time I come up here, you tell me the same story. Well, could you give me your number again, she says, and I'll be sure to get it to them. I said, well, I sure would appreciate it because it's very, very, very important. And I left. So today I called because I hadn't received a response. And I said to her, you see, I told you, I still haven't received a call from one of your attorneys. And she said, maybe they're busy. I say, I understand that. I say, but they could send me an email letting them know that they received my request, anything. And I said, damn. I say, these attorneys ain't shit. I'm just talking. And she said, your mama ain't shit. I say, what? Your mama ain't shit. And hung the phone up in my face like a gangster that ain't got no goddamn sense. Ignorant, ghettoish, subculture mentality. And it really did mess me up. It made me have pictures being painted in my head as a ignorant Negro. But I thank God for God because He allows me to see the nature of the beast. And I'm going to let God expose that subculture and do whatever He wants to do with it. And I had to just share that because So much is happening in my life today. Things that really weigh heavy on a man. And it's a whole lot of pressure that people don't know anything about. And that pressure is knowing, because of what you see every day, what you hear every day. This culture out here, it doesn't propagate. It doesn't advocate love. I know everybody is saying, oh man, everybody know that. Well, if everybody know that, how come everybody ain't changing that? I remember a video that showed a city councilman and another representative of the city fighting. Everybody saw that. In life, things happen. In life, that doesn't mean that whoever you are, you don't have emotions. You don't have things that you're passionate about, and you'll fight about it. My God, that ain't nothing but the nature of the man. The nature of it. And sometimes we slip because we're human. But getting back to that video, I'm the one who videoed it. Didn't video it with any ulterior motive. I was videoing it because that was, at that time, my job. But anyway, every time something happens in my life, I know that it has to be a reason. And I know that I've got to know what that reason is so I can learn from it. And then you think about the political game that's being played out here on us taxpayers. And I asked a gentleman one day, and we'll get back to whatever it is I was talking about, but this is important. I asked the gentleman, what would be wrong in lying to the people, the taxpayers, and pretending that you're the good guys? Is it wrong to swindle, con the taxpayers, we who work hard to earn a living, earn one, not given one, but earn one? Would it be a crime to support things such as, I'm an ex-offender. I've been out of prison now almost 40 years. And that means that when you're out of prison, you have to be supervised because you're on parole. That makes sense, supervision. And it's a certain amount of money that's coming out of the taxes to pay for that supervision. That means hiring people to do that. And it's a certain amount of money that's been appropriated for just that. And all of the things that are used while being on parole as it relates to supervision costs money. And that money is taken out too. Any kind of counseling that is pointed out, that money is taken out. Now, On me, myself, after being out of prison almost 40 years, multiply that 40 years that I've been out on supervision, me being a ward of the state, me being supervised by the state, it amounts well over $1 million. And I done been out of prison 40 years. So what would be the reason for the continuity of this particular procedure after being out almost 40 years? That money that was spent on supervision, and it's been shown and proven that rehabilitation took place not only in the physical, but also in the mental and spiritual. And it can be easily seen because of who I am today, what I'm about today. It isn't about anything except good. So if this money is taken out and say I refuse to be a part of the game anymore, because first of all, I don't need no supervision. Unless you're going to supervise me in how to be successful, and you're not going to do that. So that means that all of that money is a way to keep stripping the taxpayers. And they don't say anything because they don't know anything. All I'm saying is, why is all this money being spent in making sure that I go to and fro every month, doing the piss test, doing all? My God, if I've been out 40 years, why am I taking a piss test? Because of the game, the money. It has to keep coming. So if you refuse to continue in what you know is gain, is it anyone that would just look at what I'm saying, analyze what I'm saying, and see that is a game? That money could go toward education. Let the money that isn't being spent on me go to education. That'll help my 501c3 nonprofit. You know, do something, show something. Right now, what they're showing is I'm not rehabilitated. I have to keep going every month reporting like I just got out of prison. And I've been out of prison for almost 40 years. On top of that, I just wanted to see the attorney to see why is it that I can't vote? Why is it that that law was created by certain people to control a certain people? And at the time, slavery was ended. Chattel slavery, where you work for free, had ended. Oh, but they had to keep that thing cranked up. Brother man, you better not spit on the sidewalk. That's a violation of an ordinance. Anything to keep a brother locked up. I'm out and I'm still locked up. If I can't vote, if I don't have no voice, then who's going to represent me since I pay my taxes? And if I have no voice and I can't vote, you owe me taxes because I haven't been afforded any of my rights as a United States citizen of this grand and glorious United States of America. If someone was to break in my house, to rape my wife or children or dog or me. I can't even protect myself legally because it's against the law for an ex-offender, an ex-felon, to own a weapon. So if we can't own a weapon and we own our own home, what can we do to protect our own home? When they break in the home, tell them to hold up a minute, let me call the police. 911, a guy is getting ready to... See, everybody isn't really looking at the truth. They're looking at what they've been told, what they've imagined, because they have no experience out here in this criminal injustice society. Why would a person want to revise criminal justice? First of all, when you say criminal justice reform, that which is being reformed, back up to that word, justice. Why should justice ever have to be reformed when that's what justice does? What justice does is the reformation of injustice. So we should be talking about and really discussing the real thing and stop being blinded through hyperbole and false accusation, downright lies. It should be, the subject should be criminal injustice reform. Come on. Criminal injustice reform sure do make a whole lot of sense about what's being reformed, because justice is not where it's supposed to be. It's been reverted. So ever since it's been a country, everything that was devised illegally. Come on now. So it wasn't no justice brought to the country. Because if justice was brought to the country, our brothers, the Indians that was here at that time, would have received justice. You're not going to tell me that here's a group of people that's living on the land. They see you, and the first thing they want to do is attack you. Why y'all painting that picture when that ain't the human character? Them Indians are sweet. And you done turned them into alcoholics mostly. You depict them as all Indians are alcoholics. That's a disgrace. Like they can't go beyond alcoholism. Who you think you're fooling? What I'm saying is, we don't have to get into a pissing contest. Who can piss the farthest? We all piss. But guess what? We know the truth. I don't want to be a part of that game, the penal institution game. All of the tricks that are thrown out there on the backs of the citizens. That means that I'm still a crook, and I know that this is wrong. But I'm participating in it because they say do it. Just because they say do it don't mean that it's right. Let it be right that says to do it. But I pray that reformation will be accepted. Not that it won't come, but that it be accepted. And who wants to stand just for the truth? God used a donkey one time to deliver the truth to a man that was riding on his back and kicking the hell out of him when the donkey was trying to save the man's life. I'm a donkey today. And just because I'm a strange donkey, not being pious, not being holier than thou, just being a donkey, deliver a truth that is a God truth. It just isn't applied. Doesn't anyone wish to apply the truth to ensure happiness throughout the generations of the inheritance that you'll be able to leave? They think the donkey don't have the message. But believe me, it's not for sale. I'm sorry. It has to be God message. Don't look at me and try to compare me as a preacher of any other preacher. Everybody that's alive and breathing is a preacher. Or they should be. Because the only thing that you should be preaching anyway is the truth. Is the truth out here? And if the truth is out here, why isn't the truth prevailing? Falsehood cannot destroy the truth. But isn't it common sense to tell us that truth can destroy falsehood? But it has to be applied. Don't let laws stop us from the truth. Because I discovered, since I'm a criminal, all the little loopholes, all the games that's being played on that side of the coin, and decided to, I don't like participating in that foolishness. I'm going over here where I can help somebody. All these committees out here meeting, but they ain't never invited me. I wonder why. I've been out of prison 40 years. I was locked up right at almost 17 years with all the time of my incarceration on this side called evil. Well, God told me to turn that evil around. I said, how do you do that? And I turned it around. And it read, live. And the only way to live is for Christ, is for God, is for Allah, whatever name you wish to describe, that power. And not worry about nothing else. Because he's one, period, point blank. And I'm ignorant enough to know that if he's one, it ain't no other. So why should I call on another one? I could just call on him in my mind. Why you got to be shouting it out, trying to let people see that you're pious when you know you're a hypocrite? You ain't got no love for nobody because you've been indoctrinated and you are satisfied with the way things are. Now, here's the question. Who's satisfied with the way things are? Well, you're going to see some hands go up. But look at those hands that are not up. You ain't satisfied with being under the thumb, under the heel, under the boot of somebody else, when you're just as much human as they are. The only difference is you want humanity given, and they don't, because in their mind, you don't have anything to give except your debt, and you'll always be indebted to them. But God has an answer for that. Don't continue to be afraid of hearing just the truth. I know I say some things and people say, wow, that brother there, he's crazy. Really? God used Einstein. Everybody say he's crazy. But you know, maybe if Einstein was black, maybe you would. Come on, y'all. Everybody you think has the answer ain't got an inkling of how to fix nothing. They just using that broke to accumulate more wealth. Because if they fixed it, would that stop? No, God got a way to fix it and keep paying you at the same time since you greedy. But don't nobody want to talk about that. It's like it's null and void when it's not. Criminal injustice reform has so much to expose. How can you expose something if you don't know nothing? How can you expect to have those meetings to correct a problem when the problem that you're talking about correcting, you're not using the correctors that has the answers to the problem, such as successful ex-offenders of America, alumni association. That mentality that says when a person goes to prison for doing a crime, we're not thinking about our obligation, our commitment, which is above all our children. So when we go to prison, we have to man up enough to accept the truth if we're talking about change. And when you leave your children, you have abandoned the most sacred law and trust that God gave us, and that is to take care of our children. So XOAAA, with the help of everybody that's seeing this, I have a brand new 501c3, XOAAA, and 100% of anything, whether it be products, services, finance, donations, in kind, it doesn't make any difference. In my mind, if it's a 501c3 and it is to do what it's supposed to do for what it's being delivered to do, then why shouldn't everybody know? Is it a way for everybody to know exactly what comes in to this particular 501c3? What's wrong with wanting everybody to know what it is that's being done with the funds? What's wrong with just saying in our mind, here's a fund that I can donate to, and every month, everybody that's giving anything will receive what it's doing. Show what it's doing. Every cent. I can say that. If it's in the name that I'm saying is giving reason and thrust to the problem, and you're letting God be the CEO, what's crazy about that? If you think I'm crazy just because I say in my 70 years, I've never seen an organization, an association that proves that God is the CEO of it. I haven't seen it yet. I don't care where I go on this planet. I haven't seen it yet. Because wherever it exists, success will be seen from it. Success. We're out here making God look like he don't know how to make us successful when he created us and said we was made in his image. Oh, really? What image is that? Not knowing how to solve this little peanut problem that ain't nothing but game. And when you've been on the other side, game peep game. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And you can't fool me and tell me that I can make money, because I know that's a damn lie. Only money make money. And when you find out what money is, then you'll see money is numerical. So if money is numerical and what you're looking at represents it, that means that money doesn't have an end, because it represents what doesn't have an end. Numbers. Everything about us is about numbers. But we don't even want to discuss it because it'll make us feel like we've been played. Who wants to discuss something like this? Who? Somebody tell me. Y'all be safe. Be safe. Think about what I'm saying. First of all, do you think I'm lying? If you think I'm lying, God almighty, I got a long way to go. And I thought I was closer to God than that.